Where's the little turd right now?
Good question. Marty? The front door's open.
No, it's not.
I'll be right back.
Oh my God.
Welcome everybody to
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for a cinematic odyssey through the 100 greatest films spanning from the roaring 1920s to the cutting-edge masterpieces of 2024. Carefully curated from the lovely people on Letterboxd. Two intrepid souls embark on a journey through a treasure trove of timeless classics and groundbreaking contemporary works, where each frame embodies the enduring magic of the silver screen. Grab your popcorn and join us on this epic expedition through a century of cinematic excellence, where every film promises to enchant, inspire, and leave an indelible mark on the soul. And now, for your listening pleasure, here are the LetterBros.
How's it going?
No,
man?
is it really?
No, we're good. We're good.
Oh,
I was just setting the scene.
Dude, that's acting.
I was trying to build suspense because there's going to be a lot of suspense in today's episode, and I figured I would just let everybody know up front that they need to be on their toes for what we're about to talk about.
As you may have seen from the title of this episode, or you're thinking, oh, they're finally looking at the seventh seal.
Nope.
No, not yet, buddy. Obviously, it is the beginning of 2026, and with that is Oscar season, baby. We are in the thick of it right now. We got I think it comes out like March 15th, if I'm not mistaken.
The Oscars? Yes, the Oscars are March 15th, but the more important award shows enter today's date in post-production. And that would be the LetterBros Oscars, which we're going to talk about today. We have 10 categories, Felix, that we have toiled over. Long and hard hours we've spent formulating lists of movies that we've both seen, that only one of us have seen, and in some cases that neither of us have seen. No, I'm just kidding. We watched a lot of movies.
What could you imagine?
We watched a lot of movies this year, and it's exciting after 2 years since starting this podcast with you that we have our first annual award show put together.
Right? And you would think we would have done something like this earlier, but honestly, like, I kind of liking that we're doing it now, because obviously, like, this year was stacked with really good fucking movies.
It was. And, we were locked in on really hitting hard at the Letterboxd top 100. And we haven't gone away from that. But we haven't gone for a little while because we wanted to make sure we watched as many movies from 2025 as possible so that we could do this episode. So I'm sure that we're going to get back to the wheel here shortly. And it's crazy that we're recording now and we're not going to spin the wheel at the end of an episode.
Dude, it's honestly, it was kind of like I feel like I was missing something, but that proverbial hole will be filled by these 10 categories. Obviously, we wanted to take time to kind of go over the year. Honestly, this kind of seemed like our year in review, if we really put it that way. But like for our personal viewings, obviously not for like the actual LetterBros list, but this is something we've been putting in the works for a long time, and I'm just glad that we're finally doing it. And hopefully this will be something we try to do every year. I really like the categories that we came up with too. So
yeah, me too. And I'm sure it'll evolve over time. But
like we have a little bit sprinkled in of like traditional Oscars. Like obviously, like we'll have a Best Picture and Best Actress, Best Actor, all of that good stuff. But other ones that either you'd think would want to be on the Oscar stage, but others that we kind of just like threw in as we thought it'd be funny and fun. And
yeah, we added our own little flair. So I'm excited to get into the categories. We'll keep them a secret for now. You'll learn of them as they appear. But a couple of disclaimers. We are, just to avoid any confusion, only nominating movies that had a release in 2025. So none of the movies that we've watched for the podcast are going to be nominated. Also, additionally, there are a couple of movies that have released wide in theaters this year, 2026, that are technically 2025 releases. I'm looking at The Plague, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, of course, which I think should be nominated for Best Picture. Those will not be nominated. So if it had a
If you
wide
call
theatrical
Holland up,
release,
he'll tell you a different story, dude.
huh? Oh, yeah, I'm sure. But those will not be nominated either. So, and then lastly, there are some movies that we didn't necessarily get to. So there may be some movies that are missing that you really think should be nominated. And to that, all I have to say is get lost. Go create your own podcast with 5 to 7 monthly listeners, and then maybe you can have a take.
Exactly.
But what do you say, Felix? Should we dive into our first category of the first annual LetterBros Oscar Awards?
Hell yeah. And maybe we'll come up with a different name.
Yeah, I kind of like blatantly ripping off the primary award show.
The Academy of LetterBros Award. No, it's the LetterBros Award Show.
Felix, bring us in. What is our first category for tonight?
So our first category for tonight is Best Screenplay of the Year. And the way we did this is obviously the Oscars have Best Adapted and Best Original, just for the sake of like time and, you know, wanting to condense this a little bit. We did both essentially. So we kind of like, there's some that are mostly the original screenplays and then there's one adapted. So for Best Screenplay, we have the following: Eternity, Hamnet, Weapons, Sinners, and Marty Supreme. Now, obviously, a lot of really good original screenplays this year, and Hamnet obviously is an adaptation, it's based off a historical fiction novel by Maggie O'Farrell of the same name. It's the only one that's adapted. All the other ones are originals. We had a lot of really good original movies this year, so it's really difficult. I mean, you have Eternity, who Parker was trying to get me to watch for the longest time, and I didn't end up watching it until about 2 weeks ago, and I was completely blown away. Like, I loved the setting of the movie. I thought the idea of like the afterlife in this movie was really neat. So I want to hear your like quick take on it, because I mean, I haven't really gotten your opinion on it. So what made you really want to pick this as Best Screenplay, as a nomination at least?
As a nominee for Eternity specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Eternity screenplay brought a lot of background and emotional depth to the characters and to the actors. And it felt like the actors had a lot to work with, which allowed them to in turn give great performances. I think that there's a very interesting emotional dynamic at play. And the film asks a question that many of us ponder in some way or another, to some degree. Not necessarily a dead lover, but just thinking of people that you have loved and people that you love and contextualizing it and putting it on film in front of us. I thought it was very well done and well executed, and then brought to life excellently by the film's direction and performances. What some of the other screenplays have that I think warrant nominations here are the balancing of multiple important and interesting story arcs throughout a film's narrative. So you see that with Marty Supreme. You see that with Weapons, which is told in a vignette style where all of the main story arcs are interconnected and you see different perspectives of the same scenes and it's all interwoven. I think that's excellently done. Sinners is practically 2 movies in one screenplay, so it really shines there. And Marty Supreme has so many characters and so many different story arcs and different relationships between the characters that the fact that they kept it all together and cohesive is mind-blowing. So I think we have a lot of strong nominations here. Do you have any final thoughts before we announce our first winner of the night?
Oh no, honestly, I think each of these nominees like brought something different to the table. Especially like thinking like Hamnet was a really like refreshing take. I thought it was honestly going to be like a William Shakespeare biopic, and it like wasn't at all. Kind of the story's kind of being like, you already know like what Shakespeare's going to do. Here is the sacrifices and tolls that led to like him essentially creating one of his greatest works, and how that affected and Shakespeare. Like, internally and like how she's going through and dealing with like the death of her son, which it's not a spoiler, it's just history, guys. But yeah, I mean, Eternity just bringing like a really good idea to the forefront of like a question we all ask ourselves. Weapons being one of the most original horror movies I've seen in a very long time. Marty Supreme just like controlled chaos. I think this is Safdie's like greatest work. Like obviously it lends itself a lot to Uncut Gems, but it does it in such an original and fun way. And then obviously Sinners, like you said, it's like two movies in one. Like it gives you so much time to care about the characters, and then it turns itself around and it just honestly makes for a really good time. But there is one screenplay that I thought just was heads above the rest, just absolutely amazing.
And the winner for Best Screenplay of 2025 goes to Marty Supreme.
Let's go!
And good conversations were had between you and I when choosing the winner of this category. They're all so strong. But the way that Marty Supreme navigates all of its anxiety-inducing storylines is flawless, second to none this year. So great start to tonight, Felix. I'm very excited to continue on. And we have a very fun category now, a LetterBros original to bring to you. And that is the best popcorn movie of 2025. What movie?
Now, what does that mean, Parker? What does that actually mean?
That's a good question. That's a good question. We want to know what movie had your fingers most soaked to the bone in butter by the time the credits rolled. What movie had you coming up with crazy combinations with your movie snacks while you witnessed the incredible events that unfolded on the IMAX screen in front of you? We don't want to know what movie. Thank you for the representation in your Marty Supreme popcorn bucket, Felix.
Oh, you're welcome.
We don't want to know what movie had you crying in the seats. What movie had you leaving saying that's going to win an Oscar? In fact, none of our nominees this year will be nominated for Best Picture. So we want to make that clear. If you are nominated for Best Popcorn Movie, you were not nominated for Best Overall Film of 2025. We want to know, essentially, what was the best blockbuster? And with that being said, our nominees for the LetterBros Top Popcorn Movie of 2025 are F1, Avatar, Fire and Ash, The Running Man, Superman, Thunderbolts. That's right. F1 was not nominated for Best Picture in our category this year. I know it was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, Felix, but in our mind, it's a great popcorn film. So run us through. We have Superman, The Running Man, Avatar, F1, and Thunderbolts. What had you snacking the most in theaters this year? Not necessarily your winner, but walk me through why each of these were nominated.
Honestly, a movie that I've just like found myself really enjoying and not necessarily thinking like, oh, this is going to be an Oscar nominated film. Insert F1 comments there. It's our fucking list. You'll see that there is a Marvel movie on here. And honestly, Thunderbolts was a very surprising addition this year, in a year that we had Fantastic Four also. But Thunderbolts like really made you like think about like depression and getting help, like not themes that I originally think would be in a fucking Marvel movie, but
or a popcorn movie.
In a popcorn movie, sure. Well, in a Marvel movie too, like you're thinking it's just going to be like, oh, here's the comic book adaptation. Like this movie made you like feel things, dude. And I would say that's a good segue into like Superman too, like in terms of like subverting expectations. Like there were so many times in Superman that I was like giggling with excitement, but also crying. Also, when he screams, "Where's the dog?" I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, where is the fucking dog?
Where's the dog?
But also, like Running Man was also a really good surprise this year. I mean, this is like Glenn Powell's fucking era right now. Like he's doing incredibly well. Even if you're just looking at like How to Make a Killing, I think is going to be like one of the. I think How to Make a Killing might be in that, but you know, movies like Running Man like certainly help out with that. He's our new leading man. F1, if you really liked Top Gun Maverick, you'll love this. Like there's It's just fun to watch cars go vroom, dude. Joseph Kosinski, like what he's doing, like behind the camera and like immersing yourself into these like situations, whether it's like planes or F1 cars, like it's crazy what he's doing. And then just Avatar. Like we got another Avatar movie this year, and it was, while it's just blue people dealing with blue problems. It is very much like is a visual like just eye candy of a movie, like watching it in IMAX 3D and seeing a movie running at 60 frames per second for the majority of it was insane to watch. Like I'd never seen a movie like that before.
Yeah, I've not seen actually a number of films in this category. Unfortunately, I have not seen Avatar. I haven't seen F1 or Thunderbolts. So I'm only able to work with what I've got in this category,
and that's fine. I didn't see Running Man this year.
Yeah,
but,
so
I do like some Glenn Powell.
They're all good choices. I don't typically tend towards blockbusters in general unless it's something that I'm already interested in. But I like this category, and I think we have a lot of good films, especially some that I need to visit. Avatar, spoiler alert, maybe for the category, but Avatar is not really my thing. F1 and Thunderbolts, I really look forward to watching. And then, yeah, like you said, Superman had a great emotional depth to it, and there were so many great action sequences in that film that I was actually very impressed with. I thought that they were unique action sequences in a cinematic world that is filled with overdone sequences. So, yeah. Felix, why don't you tell us who's taking it away this year?
In this year's best popcorn movie of 2025 is Superman. Congratulations to Superman. You'll be getting your trophy in the mail soon, Mr. James Gunn. Appreciate it. It's gonna be I mean, just
no surprise.
Superman, like it was just fun. Like I forgot, like you almost forget that like these superhero movies are supposed to be like just stupid fun. And honestly, like James Gunn, like taking the helm on it was just such a breath of fresh air that he literally did in Marvel with Guardians of the Galaxy, and now pretty much that's all they're wanting to do. So putting his take on it in Superman, like just it really fucking just changed the game there. Like he did what The Rock thought he was doing, but did it better. So good job. He changed the landscape of the DC universe forever.
I just realized I don't think we introduced ourselves.
You know what? People know who we are. I'm Felix, and that's Parker. How we doing today, buddy?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. You introduced us. You made me think that your cat got lost. But I think now it's a good time to kind of dive a little deeper into more of these traditional categories, with the next one being Best Supporting Actor. And you'll see that a lot of these are, ones that are actually nominated for the Oscars this year, but some that you might find a little bit interesting. So we have Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein as the monster, or as the creature. Benicio del Toro in One Battle After Another. Sean Penn in One Battle After Another. Delroy Lindo in Sinners. And Carlos Francisco in The Secret Agent. A lot of really good, and I always kind of like supporting actor even more, because obviously like best actor and best actress, like you are a vehicle for the audience to go through the story with. Like you are following mainly like these characters for the majority of it, and then during your journey of the movie you run into these little kooky, wild, and sometimes emotionally vulnerable characters. Like people that come to mind for me is like Delroy Lindo. Like we literally meet him playing a harmonica at a train station, and then all of a sudden he's now giving us this story about how like him and his friends were captured and were making a bunch of money playing at these like white parties, playing blues music, and then just just the emotional turmoil that happens after that, and just the way that he like portrays this story, and just the absolute like just disappointment in society like after he sees the chain gang. Like it's just, he just does such a good job.
That scene really resonates, and there's an interview where he explains that he had improvised a little bit when Miles Caton starts playing the guitar, and Miles
Mhm.
Caton wasn't really sure what to do, and he's talking about how he and Michael B. Jordan kind of guided him through the scene, and Miles, he caught on and went with it, but
Yeah.
just that leadership on set too, and he's a tried and true vet, and he just delivers such a grounded
Dude, getting
performance in
nominated
this
at like
crazy
70 years old says something, dude.
right.
Like he is a like you said, he's a veteran of the game. And
Yeah.
no, I mean, and shout out Miles Caton. He could have easily been on this list as well. I think so, but just
Mhm.
Delroy Lindo just put on such a better performance in just like those two scenes alone. Like when you first meet him, and he's just like this kooky old drunk, and then now he's talking like just shows such emotional depth. And speaking of emotional depth, let's talk about Jacob Elordi as the creature. Like we just literally watch him as essentially any other Frankenstein movie. Or actually not really. I don't even think we really get like a monster like Jacob Elordi's. Like, I mean, if you think of like the 1930s Frankenstein, it's kind of like one note. Like he is just a walking body, still learning like the ways of the world. But like what Jacob does is we see him go through like an entire stage of life, almost from like infancy almost to like learning words to now becoming like this eloquent and like well-spoken person. Like it's beautiful. I mean, this was one of the three movies that I saw twice this year, and it made me really think that like because obviously the movie is broken into two parts of like Victor Frankenstein's story and then the creatures. And I mean, the creatures story is just some of the best like just storytelling I saw. One of the best storytelling I saw this year. So
Also a highlight in this category, Carlos Francisco delivers
yeah.
such a resounding performance in The Secret Agent as someone who's lost his daughter and is now dealing with whatever struggles his son-in-law has brought to his city. There are quite a few scenes where this character has to balance wanting to care for his son-in-law and his grandchild, yet also balancing the fact that he knows his son-in-law may have not treated his daughter the way that she should have been treated. And there are scenes between them that are incredibly portrayed in terms of emotional depth and the chemistry that they have with one another. So a big highlight there. And then also for One Battle After Another to have two supporting actor nominations in one movie is quite the feat as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro both absolutely ate it up in that film. Sean Penn with just an off the wall, crazy ass performance, and Benicio just funny, witty, and kind of a piece of glue that holds the rest of the cast together in some scenes.
And a nice balance between Leo's like just off the wall, like chaotic energy, and Benicio just being there to just kind of like hold everything down and kind of just be like, already got this all figured out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
here's your gun. This is where you're going to go. And like, just his line of like, have you had anything to drink today? He's like, a few small beers. Like, he's just, and he's doing his little dance, like while they're testing his sobriety. Like, he's just so charming in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give it that. But again, yeah, like Sean Penn, like pretty much like being I would almost say like almost the lead actor. Like he's in pretty much every shot of this movie. Like I think he has almost a lot more screen time than Leo, but we'll give him that, dude. Sean Penn, another veteran of the game, getting nominated again is crazy. Just it shows the body of work that he's had, and like Angry Birds 2 and Milk. It's pretty crazy, dude.
You can bring us our winner.
Yeah, no, you can. I already
Okay.
announced the other one.
And our winner for top supporting actor of 2025 is Jacob Elordi, Frankenstein.
Let's go, baby.
And you and I both agreed on this one. It was, I would say, a fairly easy choice. Not that it is an easy choice by any means, but
I do want to hear your
congratulations
take
to
on
Jacob.
it. I feel like I was talking about it forever, but
No,
I
and
want
that's
to hear
great.
like what.
Yeah, I thought he was incredible in the film. portraying someone that is new to this planet and just wants to have community and is rejected of that community because of things that he cannot control. And I thought that it was portrayed excellently by Elordi. I thought that he had great range in the film, from anger to sympathy at some points to confusion and isolation. So I thought it was an incredible performance. Borderline leading performance. He just didn't have necessarily the screen time as Oscar Isaac. And I was far more interested in the movie when Jacob Elordi was on screen. I didn't think anyone else in the movie really was at his level, Mia Goth or Oscar Isaac. I thought they both had great performances, but Elordi shined in that movie. Absolutely. And his physical movement. His physical movement as well was incredible.
Oh, dude, yeah. And just the look of him, like him leaning into that and just kind of like, because I mean, obviously, like this role has been portrayed so many times for like close to 100 years now. But to have such a refreshing take on the character that like I don't see him as like flat top, bolts in the neck, like kind of like what we're gonna see with Christian Bale in The Bride this year. Like, yeah, it's Christian Bale playing a Frankenstein monster, but it's doesn't seem like anything like new. Like Jacob Elordi with the direction of Guillermo del Toro was something refreshing and new. And just I think Jacob Elordi, like much like Glenn Powell, is just going to be a shining star. Like I'm all in on Jacob Elordi, dude, and this movie solidified that for me. And speaking of supporting roles, we will move into Best Supporting Actress of this year. I'll let Parker take the reins on that.
And our nominees for Top Supporting Actress of 2025 are Chase Infinity, One Battle After Another; Amy Madigan, Weapons; Odessa Azion, Marty Supreme; Sonia Jin, No Other Choice; and Glenn Close, Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. Okay. Yeah, tough category, and one that you and I discussed, I would say, at length, comparatively speaking, when planning for this episode. A lot of really great options. And also, we vary quite a bit from the Oscar nominations in this category.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have any sentimental value nominations. And why don't you saw sentimental value? I've not seen sentimental value, unfortunately. So I want walk us through how you feel about all of these nominations and also what put them in over sentimental value for you.
So what I'll say is, again, sentimental value, great movie about like, honestly, like the toll of children of people in the movie business and like what kind of sacrifice like a parent or a guardian has to make in order to like balance their career and what they do to support their family versus what's actually going on when they're off making a movie and how does that affect the children. Like it's the performances in there are, again, they're good. They're Oscar movie good. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite of the year. In just kind of like in that like encapsulated bubble of the movie, I think they did really well. But I think like there wasn't anything that was making me think afterward. Besides like Stellan Skarsgård, who again like it's literally his life, except instead of his daughters in the movie, it's his children. So that's kind of tough, like having to almost play yourself. So props to him. But I just think that there was just so much other like captivating performances this year that literally left me like with my jaw on the floor. Like even just kind of starting off like Odessa Azion in Marty Supreme. Like it's very difficult in a Safdie movie to kind of like outmatch or to kind of match the energy of your lead, whether it's like, you know, Robert Pattinson in Good Times or Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. Fucking Timothy Chalamet in Marty Supreme, but Odessa like brings her A game and matches Timmy's energy pretty much every time they're on screen, even like out Martying Marty at one point in the movie. That just like it literally just was very captivating and very intense. And even speaking of intense, like we have Amy Madigan, a fucking sleeper hit this year. Even surprised that like they were showing so much love to her role, like at the Golden Globes, which she fucking won, which is crazy for a horror movie. But I mean, it's like to what we were talking about earlier. She left such a captivating like presence that they're literally making a movie about her character at some point. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just stuff like that. Like it made me want to nominate these over like any of the performances in sentimental value. Like, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear your take because I saw No Other Choice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also a good movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. I didn't think any of them were necessarily stand out, but I do want to hear your take on Son Yi Jin.
I thought she was incredible in No Other Choice. There is a scene in which she is on the phone and kind of has to accept her new reality. And the way that she comes to terms with what she is realizing is done excellently. And then thereafter, her balancing the facade of being okay with what has to be done, and wow, I'm trying not to give too much away here, while also being showing that just beneath the surface she's ready to crack with understanding that it's not right. I think that it's just done so excellently. You can really tell that what she is presenting is not how she's feeling, and it's hard to do that and not make it obvious, I feel. And she's strung throughout the movie. But it is definitely in the third act that I think, wow, that is a best supporting actress nomination right there. So it's a great category. It's a tough category. Amy Madigan, like you said, in a horror movie to come out and fully embody such a crazy character. Glenn Close in Wake Up Dead Man, if you're listening, you might be thinking, why is she nominated? But I think we both agreed that she had a very complex role in this film and had to navigate a character that is playing many different sides of a coin, which was impressive. And then
while
Chase
still
Infinity
putting on
as
the front as like a leading church member, like throughout like the whole mystery section. Like it's just she just again another veteran of the game in Glenn Close. But
definitely.
like the many hats that she has to play, even just like behind necessarily like behind the camera, obviously from like what we're not seeing, like she is pulling strings all over the place in this movie until it comes to like that dramatic conclusion. Is just it's a lot of fun. And also just Glenn Close is just so fun to watch. Like anytime she's on screen, it's just you're in for a really good time. And then we have speaking of like veterans in the game, we kind of flip the coin here with a kind of rookie of the game. It's Chase Infinity from One Battle After Another, who from us releasing this right now, I think only has literally on Letterboxd 2 movies in her filmography. But to stand out so much in One Battle After Another as like you are the center point of this movie. Obviously, we have Leo in this movie, we have Benicio, we have Sean Penn in this movie, but like she is putting on an acting clinic with these veterans. Like her scene with Sean Penn in the church, be asking him like, why is your shirt tight? And Sean Penn's like, I'm not a homo if that's what you're thinking. Like it's just this exchange that she's having with fucking Sean Penn is just so funny. But she's also like putting on such a powerful performance of just kind of rolling with the punches of like everything that's going on. Like I honestly thought that she had been doing movies for a while, even as like a kid actor, but to know that like this is only her second movie is wild.
With that being said, Felix, who takes it away this year?
I can tell you that, Parker. In our winner for Best Supporting Actress of 2025 is Miss Amy Madigan of Weapons. So well deserved. I mean, even just like looking again, all of these characters this year for supporting actress are really great, but one stands out as just when she's on screen, you're first asking yourself like, what the hell is going on? Who is this person? But then as you start to find out who she is and like the way that she portrays this character is just like stand out, dude. And I hope that you would agree.
Yeah, I do. Really fully becoming the character. And it helps that the character that she was given, that she earned, I should say, through auditioning and otherwise, that character is a character that allows an actor to go and give an incredible performance. And Amy Madigan took that door and broke it the hell down. She didn't just walk through it. She really went with everything that she had. And it was a great performance. I think every performance in this category, and then some that we didn't even talk about, were great. Amy Madigan happens to be the one that we both agree on, but this was an outstanding year when it comes to like a very difficult year to decide a top supporting actress. I think that there are so many incredible performances that should be talked about for this. But
absolutely,
I like Amy Madigan here. When you go back and think about her performance years down the line, it will still be a standout. I'm interested to get into our 5th category of the night. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is our 5th category.
Yeah, it is our 5th category.
It is not the category that I thought it was. I am still very interested to get into the 5th category, though, because it is the only category that is a direct translation from how we rate movies, like from our ranking skill into award category.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of combine two plus Oscar categories when it comes to sound and visual effects and cinematography and the like. We have best visual and auditory appeal. What a year it was for that as well. We got some visually spectacular movies this year and a lot of great scores to boot. With that being said, we can only have 5 movies nominated. And those movies are... Where is it? And those movies are Train Dreams, Sinners, Frankenstein, The Secret Agent, and One Battle After Another. How do you even pick? You have the crazy music of 70s Carnival and The Secret Agent matched with interesting editing choices and a color grading that really places you in that era. You have One Battle After Another and the incredible chase scene at the end of the movie that puts it in a nomination alone. That alone does, along with an awesome soundtrack. Not necessarily score, but the soundtrack to that movie is balls to the wall awesome. Train Dreams gives you a visual masterpiece that allows you to contemplate life by just looking at a screen. Frankenstein has incredible, massive practical sets and effects with an empathetic score and mind-blowing scale. And then Sinners has the music and dance sequence that everyone was raving about throughout the entirety of 2025. You have great blues music. You have compelling practical effects with the vampires that assist the story rather than contradicting it. And all around, you have dance sequences, music sequences, and visual scale that, especially when seen on IMAX, is just plain out jaw-dropping. So, Felix, how are we going to determine a winner for this category? I don't know.
I don't know, dude. And so what I kind of like went off of is just like, what is this movie invoke from just looking at it? I mean, you have Train Dreams, who, again, it's like what you said, like there's a lot of narration and a lot of just like minimal dialogue while you're just watching these characters cut down trees and live through this tumultuous time in America. As it like, kind of bleeds into World War I and everything, but I just really loved the aesthetic and the setting of this movie. It looked visually stunning. Like I wanted to go outside. Yeah. I don't like going outside, but I wanted to go outside after watching this movie. But then you have movies like Frankenstein. Like Guillermo del Toro is like one of my favorite directors of all time. Like Shape of Water, one of my favorite movies of all time. Like it's just the way that he like takes a fucking aesthetic and just makes it. he just blows it out of proportions. Like you have movies like Hellboy that look stunning, Shape of Water, you have Pinocchio, you have Frankenstein, like all of these incredible, like he has his own style that he has built throughout like a huge and long career. And then obviously the score by Alexander Desplat, who worked on The Shape of Water to create this like eerie and like quirky little score for Frankenstein, is amazing. And then obviously you have Sinners, that I one of my favorite movies growing up was The Crossroads, because I like loved blues music, and to get that kind of music in here with Sinners, obviously done by Ludwig Göransson, it's incredible. And then obviously like the set design of this movie, the costumes, the look of the fucking vampires in this movie is crazy. And again, just like props to Ryan Coogler for working on a movie with IMAX cameras for pretty much the very first time. Like even having to go and like, tap Christopher Nolan for assistance on how to work these cameras and making it look like he's been doing it forever. Like one take alone is like when they're all getting ready to fight the vampires and the fucking aspect ratio change goes from the regular format to the full IMAX screen is literally something I will never, ever, ever forget visually. It made me want to go and prioritize watching IMAX movies after that.
But it still holds up on a small screen too. You can still appreciate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's formatted for IMAX on like smaller
course,
screens,
yeah.
so you'll still see that aspect ratio change, but like when you see it the way it's meant to be, like I will always say, go watch movies in the fucking theater. If it's filmed for IMAX, go watch it in a fucking IMAX. Like you will not be disappointed. And what did I else say? Oh, and then there's one battle after another. Just like again, like PTA puts on like it's, you would think it's not like these mystical settings like Sinners or Frankenstein, but it just feels, the world feels so lived in and so like real. And it's like wasn't necessarily like living like in the time of like the beginning of the movie, like the early 90s or so. I was still like just a kid, but you feel lived in, like you feel like you are in that time frame. And then you get into modern day and it feels a little more familiar, but I don't know, man. It was stacked this year, but there can only be one. There can only be one winner. And that winner, the best visual and auditory appeal for 2025, is Sinners. Ryan Coogler, Ludwig Göransson fucking destroyed it. It's a visual masterpiece, audibly even better. Like if we had best score, like this would have blown it out of the water. Like the music, I love how the music is consistently going on in the background and it doesn't feel distracting. It feels connected with the movie because it literally is. So
yeah, Sinners blends everything from music to cinematography to set dressing to costume design. It pulls it all together in the most mind-blowing way. And for that reason, because it shines in every single category of visual and auditory appeal, this is a 10 for both of us in that category. It has to win. Has to win.
Well, going into our next category, I'm really excited for, but I think we need to share this excitement with somebody else.
That's right. You want to let us know what this category is and who we're bringing in? This category,
and it's very much I guess like a shameless plug, is Best HHN Inspo House. And who better than to go and introduce this category than the Spooky Senders? Obviously, we got Parker, but then we also have Colin on the line. What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Not much, man. How's it going?
Going good, going good. For those listening, we are introducing our category for best movie that would make an HHN house from 2025. And for those unfamiliar, I have fellow Spooky Sender on the line. Colin, how's it going, buddy?
Chilling. Wishing I had a lacto cooler in my hand right now.
Ah, me too,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Me too. Lacto's up for the boys.
Or maybe even a PB&J mixtape, actually.
Oh, dude, that's even
That
better.
a mixtape would hit. Colin, I want to ask before we're gonna have you introduce the nominees. Is that okay?
Sure. I'm on site real quick, so
Okay, I can introduce it. I got you. Thanks for taking your time out of the day. For Felix, why don't you take it for nominees?
Yeah. So the nominees we have for best HHN inspo house. So best movie from this year that would make a good HHN house is Death of a Unicorn, Black Phone 2, Bring Her Back, Weapons, and Sinners.
Colin, while we have you on the line, what is your pick? Just flat out, what's your pick for this year?
out of this list, or can I throw my own?
No, throw your own. So your pick was not nominated?
No, I got a dark horse pick going on.
Okay, let's hear it.
Predator Badlands, actually.
Okay.
Oh my God, yeah.
Great choice. Felix, do we need to switch some stuff up?
I would definitely put Predator Badlands over Death of a Unicorn.
Colin, if you have 1 minute, why don't you let us know why you think that'd be the great house to come to HHN?
Oh, of course. Well, to be honest with you, I just think it was a fantastic movie, first and foremost. And I just think the set design of that movie, and obviously the fact that you could have predators in it, would be awesome. A couple aliens in there, I think, would be great. And there's a couple of scenes, especially towards the end, I think would make for some really memorable rooms.
Well, you heard it here first. Possibly a upcoming episode for Spooky Senders, I think. But great to hear that input. I'm sorry that it was not nominated off rip. I personally did not see Badlands.
Oh, dude, it's great.
But
It's really good.
Colin, do you have to run?
I got enough time for one more minute here.
All right. Well, we won't keep you on. We're going to talk about the rest of the nominees, and we might switch it up and put Predator Badlands on. What do you think, Felix? Honorary
I already
nomination.
put it under. I already switched it on the list.
All right. So we have an honorary nomination, but let's go ahead and announce it first while we have Colin. Our official LetterBros pick was Weapons. Colin, how do you think Weapons would fare as a house?
I think there'd be some great jumps on that one. But my only thing with Weapons is there is a considerable amount of talking going on there. But
For sure.
Those jumps would make fantastic jumps. So between that, and I was thinking, I liked Black Phone too, just because I think it's a tried and true formula.
For sure.
Translates well. But I love those two. I'm gonna jet here. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Thanks so much for hopping on.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Of course. I will catch you guys later.
All right. Have a great day, brother.
Later.
All right.
Shout out to Colin for jumping on the pod.
Major shout out in the middle of a workday while he's on site. Can't thank you enough, buddy.
Crazy.
If you're listening here, cannot thank you enough. But a little bit of change of format. We wanted to announce our winner while we had Colin on the line. So our winner for best HHN Inspo House is Weapons. But Felix, I almost called you Colin. Why do you think any of these houses would make great Horror Nights houses? Because I honestly, if I'm being honest, I could only see a select few of them coming actually to the event. And I don't think I could see Weapons. I do think it would make an awesome house, especially in the way that you described it. But you need a very specific formula to bring a house to Halloween Horror Nights, in my opinion. And Black Phone 2 is the only one that really fits it. I don't disagree. I think Weapons would make the best house, but share your thoughts. I'm curious on your formats for these.
I just think that, looking at the list here, like obviously Bring Her Back would be just a gory ass house. But I don't know how people at HHM would feel about seeing a bunch of kids eating tables and like just basically just being violently mean to children. Like that movie is cray when it comes to like child violence. Black Phone 2, I feel like would just be like, again, just another. I feel we did get a Black Phone house. Like we got it in the Blumhouse house a couple years ago. They had a Black Phone section. Black Phone 2, while I think it would look fine, I'm kind of thought this category as something that would make for a unique HHN house. Like obviously You have Black Phone. Obviously, we've had Predator at the event before. Sinners, we pretty much got with Darkest Deal. And obviously, it's kind of circulating around now with the spec map out. But I know you don't think it's Sinners.
No, I think it's Darkest Deal too. And
yeah,
then
which I'm fine with. I really liked Darkest Deal because, again, it leaned into what I loved about Sinners and the blues culture in the South. And I love that. Like the story of the Crossroads is crazy. But I do think.
And then we should also say we threw Death of a Unicorn on there at first as well because you could utilize some puppets in that house, and that would be
Oh yeah, dude. The HHM would go nuts with the unicorn puppets. But honestly, Predator Badlands like would make for a really good house. Like I loved Predator Badlands. I just don't know how Disney would fare utilizing Predator at the event. Because this was a very big like Hulu movie. Like this thing was being promoted all over Disney Springs. But again, like Weapons, just again, surprising film. Literally knew nothing about it going into it. I honestly think that Parker loves them open concept houses with giant set pieces in the middle.
Oh yeah.
This could work so well with kids just running around.
Freaky.
Just like having them pop up everywhere, like maybe running perpendicular towards you or maybe on like a zip line. And then just, like I just think this would be a super creepy fucking house. Like even like maybe like you stepping like into like the salt circle and like seeing like the parents get activated, or even like just the whole fucking Shining reference that they did like made it didn't feel like a Shining reference until after you after you got like analysis of it, but like in the moment it's fucking scary. I think it would make for a really interesting HHN house. Like yes, there's a lot of dialogue, but I think there's enough like dude, I'm thinking about it now, like even just like the scene of like when you're watching the mom come out of the house like really slowly, like that could kind of be like a distraction. Like you see her coming out and then just have her pop out next to you with like the pair of scissors trying to cut your hair. Like, dude,
ooh, that would be good.
Sign me the fuck up for a Weapons house.
Yeah. You gotta like projection map a big old AR-15 over a house facade.
Could you imagine?
They could do that.
Lose their mind.
They could do that for sure. That would be kind of sick.
Really could.
All right,
and just so, dude. And sorry, just like to kind of go off on it because like with IP houses, they love their little sound bites.
Yeah.
Their little soundbite scares. It could be Josh Brolin waking up from that dream and just going, "What the fuck?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?"
Best line.
I got a
in the
big
movie.
laugh in the theater.
Yeah, dude. I would laugh in the house. But yeah, shout out to Weapons, best inspo house. We're now in the top half of these categories here. So why don't you lead us into the big four now? We got our next category. What do we got?
Yeah, that was a fun little break in the pace for our halfway point, but it's time to get back to business. And with that being said, we have our category for top actress in a leading role in 2025. And our nominees are Rose Byrne from If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Jessie Buckley from Hamnet, Sally Hawkins from Bring Her Back, Emma Stone from Begonia, and Elizabeth Olsen from Eternity. A lot, again, some great female performances this year, dude. What the hell?
Yeah. And what I will say is I'm kicking myself for not seeing Die My Love.
Yes,
because
so
I know from what Parker was telling me, Jennifer Lawrence could have easily won this category.
I'm just going to go flat out and say it. I think Jennifer Lawrence would have in this field an argument at the very least for top actress in a leading role this year for her performance in Die My Love. Felix hadn't seen it. We wanted to go with there were enough top actress in a leading role performances in movies that we had both seen for us to agree on a consensus pick. Definitely. But that just goes to show how many great performances there were this year. But Felix, bring us through what you did see. How are you feeling about all of these? I
So
know
again, just like,
Jessie Buckley has it taken home when it comes to the Oscars, but
yeah,
I thought
I
she
think
was
she's the
great in
only
what
one
I
that's been
saw of
sweeping
Hamnet.
like all of the award shows right now. Like she
Yeah.
is, and I will say, like, it is a very strong performance. Again, like what I mentioned earlier, of just like bearing the weight of taking care of her children while her husband is off living his dream, being the greatest literary mind of all time, pretty much. Like going out and living his dream while she is at home taking care of these children, dealing with sickness, dealing with fucking, one of them pretty much almost dying like at birth. Like she just goes through so much emotional trauma, and just like any of her scenes where she is literally just like crying so hard that no noise is coming out of this woman. And then when it finally does, it's almost like it's terrifying to listen to. Like she is going through it. Like even when like so like going through all of this and wondering what the fuck is my husband doing while not being here for our children. Our child has literally fucking died, and he's off going and writing a fucking play about it. But then coming to that conclusion of like watching it on, so like again, and I mentioned it off camera, but like those last 10 minutes of Jessie Buckley watching Hamlet is probably some of the most like visually striking and emotional like acting I've ever seen. Like she fucking rips it. But what I will say also, and in that conversation as well, because obviously Jessie Buckley is taking home all the awards, but the other person who won at the Golden Globes for musical and comedy was Rose Byrne in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And this was also a very late entry. I watched it earlier this year, but I wish I watched it a lot earlier because she does so well in just I guess this is the theme for this year of just controlled chaos of like dealing with her daughter who has this like mysterious illness while also dealing with like her husband not being there, but also trying to help other people as a psychiatrist when she can't even help herself, like having to go to like Conan O'Brien for help. Like she is pulling on so many strings in this movie, and all of it while it's literally like up in your fucking face. Like I listened to her on the A24 podcast of like just how uncomfortable she felt the first couple of days she was on set with just the camera literally like in your fucking face, dude. But she does so well. But I want to hear you talk about Elizabeth Olsen. As I mean, Eternity was a movie that you put me onto, and I want to hear your thoughts on her performance.
Sure. I'll talk about all of them.
Go for it. Talk
I'm
about
being
whoever
honest.
you
Yeah,
want.
starting with Elizabeth Olsen. It is a very classic role in a sense, right? Torn between two lovers, right? However, I would say that she carries the weight, the emotional weight of the film, because Eternity on the surface is a very fun and funky, interesting concept. You die and then you pick your eternity. And that subplot kind of gives it a lightheartedness and a kind of overtone that is out of this world or unbelievable or kind of zany. And Elizabeth Olsen grounds that movie and allows everyone in the audience to connect to it. So it takes this far out concept and allows you to still emotionally relate to it. And that is because of all of the performances in this film, but specifically because of Elizabeth Olsen's and the way that she's going back and forth on the pros and cons of her situation, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
She also has great chemistry with like the staff, so to speak, in Purgatory. She has some
Yeah.
really funny interactions with them.
And her with her neighbor too, when they like go off on their like bender, like
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
so funny.
And then Emma Stone and Begonia, of course, is just Emma Stone's a powerhouse, dude. I love watching her in everything.
Her and Yorgos just put on just like some crazy like he really brings out like something in her that just like is magnetic to look at. And I know like we've said it before. Sometimes Parker's not the biggest Yorgos fan.
Well,
But
I haven't seen any of his movies since The Lobster like 10 years ago. So I wouldn't say that I'm not a fan.
Oh, I thought you watched Killing of the Sacred Deer.
No, I haven't seen Killing of a Sacred Deer. I really am looking forward to watching it, but I have only seen The Lobster and Begonia. So there's a lot of Yorgos Lanthimos films that I need to hop on. It's been too long. And then, yeah, like you said about Rose Byrne, she was uncomfortable in that movie. And that movie frustrated me because I felt that there was a lot of stupid decision-making going on throughout the film. But as an actress, she made you believe that those decisions were supported by what she was going through. And for that, I give her major props.
Yeah. And let's talk about the dark horse here, kind of. We haven't really touched on Sally Hawkins and Bring Her Back. Yeah. Like, another standout horror performance that, like, obviously didn't get as much love as, like, Amy Madigan did, but, like, Sally Hawkins
every bit as good, in my opinion.
Yeah. She is terrifying in this movie, dude.
Yeah, she really is.
She plays, like, both of these, like, kind of loving and nurturing mother roles, but then, like, once you start to, like, figure out, like, her actual meaning behind, like, what she's doing and, like, how she's taking care of, like, of the kid in the movie, like, she's scary, dude. Like, if you've only seen her in Paddington, like, and that is your fucking view. Oh, and she's in Shape of Water too. Fucking great performance. But if you've only seen her in those and then you see this, you're gonna be like, who the fuck is this woman? This is not Sally Hawkins. Right. But I can assure you it is, and it is. I still think about this performance. Like, honestly, like, there were, like, pretty good, like, acting performances in Bring Her Back, but, like, hers was just stand out, dude. Like, she is scary.
And our winner for top actress in a leading role goes to Rose Byrne. If I Had Legs, I'd baby. Wow, surprise, surprise. A lot of people flinching with their headphones in right now. Sorry, Jessica Buckley. I did not watch your movie to completion. I happened to fall asleep, and not much I can do about that. But yeah, I think Jessie Buckley, it would probably be in serious contention for this as well.
It was a toss-up because I saw both of these movies, but just, like, Rose Byrne, however you say it, was just, like, it's just captivating. Like, she was just locking you the fuck in throughout this whole movie, and you just, like, felt her pain. And like one of my biggest things is, like, secondhand embarrassment and just uncomfortable situations in general when watching a movie. And, like, she was doing that the whole time, but making it like a fucking car crash. Like, I didn't want to watch it, but I couldn't stop watching it. Like, she just absolutely killed it in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Strong year for fucking A24, by the way. Like, they were kicking ass in 2025. But with Best Actress, we now have Best Actor of the Year, which was also a very stacked category this year.
In a leading role, yeah.
In a leading role, correct. Best Actor in a leading role. And they are as follows. We have Jesse Plemons in Bugonia, or as I typed it earlier, Bagonia. We have Robert Pattinson in Die My Love, Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another, Timothy Chalamet in Marty Supreme, and Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. So this list is pretty fucking stacked, dude. We have some veterans of the game. I don't see, like, a real rookie actor here. Obviously, all of these people, I think Robert Pattinson got nominated for an Oscar.
For Die My Love? I don't think so.
No, I'm not for this, but I'm thinking... Actually, I don't think he did. He didn't get nominated for The Lighthouse, which is crazy, because he did really well. But, again, big veterans in acting here. A lot of really good performances that you can name, like, from any of these people. But what I want to know is, because obviously we talked about it for Best Actress, but for Best Actor here, we wanted to include Robert Pattinson. And I would love to hear Parker's thoughts on Robert Pattinson's performance in Die My Love.
So I'll say, I feel like we included Robert Pattinson because the top male actor in a leading role was not necessarily as competitive as top actress in a leading role, I would say, because I think Jennifer Lawrence matched Robert Pattinson in this film. Like they were both so good. And I didn't even really like the movie all that much, but their performances were absolute standouts. And yeah, Robert Pattinson is like, we just recorded about a woman under the influence, and he gives a very different performance in this movie than who's the lead actor in A Woman Under the Influence? Peter Falk.
I think
He gives a much different performance in
Yeah,
Down My
Peter
Love than Peter Falk does in A Woman Under the Influence. But he's aggravated, he's frustrated, he's confused, angry. It's a good performance. It is a good performance. And then Jesse Plemons, not nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars either.
Crazy snub.
Incredible performance in Begonia. I think Ethan Hawke deserves a shout out. I haven't finished Blue Moon, but he was excellent in what I have seen of it. I'm in the middle of watching that movie.
That man's shoulders were hurting, not only because he was a short king in that movie, but he also carried that film heavily. I really liked Blue Moon too, but
and then, yeah, the big three, I would say Leo DiCaprio, Timothy, and Michael B. Jordan. I mean, all great options.
Did Leo win anything from this year?
So far in our awards?
Well, I mean, like, just for, like, the big awards in general.
I see. I don't think for acting, no.
I think it's been Timothy just, like, running shit right now.
I'm not sure if I'm being completely honest.
But again, like Leo puts on just an incredible, just like crazy performance in One Battle After Another as just like this guy who like consistently lives in like conspiracy theory land, almost kind of like Jesse Plemons, but like Leo actually just goes outside and looks for his daughter and is like just like this whole running gag of him having to remember his fucking password for this like little secret society is just so funny to watch. And like all of his interactions with like literally any of the characters, whether it's like Tiana Taylor, Benicio, or even fucking Sean Penn, like every time he's on screen, it's just like, it's kind of like a Safdie-esque like chaotic energy that he brings. And it's just the lengths that he'll go to like try and get his daughter is just insane. But then we got to talk about fucking Timmy, dude. Timothy Chalamet, not only like producer credit, like literally putting like the PR for this movie on his back, but then following it up with like an actually good fucking performance in Marty Supreme. Like he leans into the Safdie, like chaotic energy of this movie and just making you fucking hate his guts, but also continuing to root for him. Like he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah, it's a thin line that he walks in that movie for sure.
Mm-hmm. And just like the prosthetic work that he puts on too, the fact that he put on fucking like prescription contact lenses and prescription glasses to make him basically just like fucking blind is nuts. Like this man is trying to get that fucking Oscar this year, dude. Mm-hmm. And I think he has pretty good contention, but I mean, we got fucking Michael B. Jordan with his first nomination this year.
Playing two characters.
Playing the Smokestack Twins, dude. And like, again, not anything we haven't seen before. Like we've seen actors play two roles a plentiful amount of times, but like to make it literally like you were looking at probably one of the most popular actors on the planet in Michael B. Jordan. And you would think like, oh, you're just looking at two Michael B. Jordans, but it doesn't feel like that at all. Like he makes the Smokestack Twins fucking just two completely different people. Like even when they're interacting with each other, like it's wild what he is doing in Sinners.
Yeah, he brings subtlety to each of the twins. That
not even subtlety, like they just feel like two completely different like characters, even though they're played by the same person. Like,
but
obviously
they still feel like twins. That's the thing that he does. I think.
Oh yeah,
like they do.
They still have that connection, but it's like you have that connection, but it's being played by the same fucking person. Like It's crazy.
And a big part of acting is feeding off of the other person in the scene too, which he was not granted that.
But that's like, I feel like he kind of did. Like, he was feeding off of himself.
No, that's what I mean. On set, though,
Yeah.
it's not like he's able to act with himself in real time. So,
Hold on a second. Man, no. Wait. Stop that. No, man. Stay. Sorry, my dog was barking. But yeah, dude, shout out Michael B. Jordan. Shout out Timothy Chalamet. Shout out everybody on this list, dude. It's pretty stacked. But there can only be one. And I think the actor should announce the winner for Best Actor in a Leading Role.
oh shoot! But I just announced the last one.
No, dude, come on, you got it.
All right. And our winner for Best Actor in a Leading Role goes to Michael B. Jordan. Best
Let's
actor
go,
in 2
baby.
leading roles.
I mean,
So,
just it's
a lot of great
it
performances.
was the most iconic
Yeah,
role of this year. Like,
it really is. My choice.
shout out
for
Michael
Oscar
B. Jordan for just making 2 original ass characters and giving us like just emotional depth from both of them too. Like, you were having so much fun with Stack, being like the charismatic, like just fun loving twin, and then giving us like real emotional depth with Smoke, like especially the scene when he goes to visit like his infant son's grave. Like, it's, and then just the end, dude, like his fucking shootout scene at the end, and when he finally sees like his wife afterwards, like saying like come home, dude, it's fucking stacked, dude, for lack of a better word. He was smoking with that role, dude.
Smoking with that stack.
Yeah.
A little bit of a switch up. We've been talking complimentary all night, but I think that it's important that we discuss some things that let us down, because at the end of the day, not every year has perfect movies. And for that reason, we have the worst movie of 2025 category. This will be fun. Our nominees, or anti-nominees, one could say, are The Monkey, Keeper, Jurassic World Rebirth, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, Lilo and Stitch. All right. So we have 2 Osgood Perkins films on this list, Felix. The Monkey I double featured with Oppenheimer last year. That was not
what the fuck?
in theaters. I went from an awesome IMAX showing of Oppenheimer into The Monkey and was like, what the fuck is going on here? I should have just gone home. I haven't seen Keeper. You've said it's terrible. I'll take your word for it. Jurassic World Rebirth, just more of the same. Give us something compelling. We don't need Alien Jurassic World. Sorry. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Pretty slow. Not a horrible movie, but I mean,
it's a very Oscar baity movie for Jeremy Allen
it's
White.
The definition of a movie that could have been an email or a short book. Lilo and Stitch, I didn't see, thankfully. Remake sounds like we didn't really need it. But yeah, what are your takes on these films? Why'd you love them?
No, I mean, just like, even starting with Lilo and Stitch, like, obviously there was a lot of backlash for this movie, mainly from like, and I think this attributes to the score too, of like how people were like, even the cast and director were talking about this movie before it even came out, of like kind of shitting on Disney for like being like, oh, I wanted to include Pleakley in a dress, but Disney wouldn't let me. Or like how Zach Galifianakis, who plays Jumba, was like, you know, I wanted to go and lean into this part of the role, but like Disney wouldn't let me, and blah. Everybody was just talking like they were having such a horrible time making this movie. And then you have this little girl who's playing Lilo, and she's like, I love being in a movie. It's fun. Like, it's, and then you get the movie, and it's pretty much like a shot for shot remake with some creative differences like taken, and they just don't work. Like, don't make Jumbo Jukiba the bad guy when like he's literally like the uncle figure that they get at the end of the movie. Like it's so dumb. Stitch is fucking adorable in the movie, but like that's pretty much all it's got going for it. Then you have Jurassic World Rebirth, which I wanted to go in with an open mind, being like, you know what? At least it's not the main like Jurassic World like trilogy. Maybe it's something a little bit different. I heard they were wanting to lean more towards horror, and they just fucking didn't at all. Like it was not scary. One take is the fucking scene of the dude pissing and having the two velociraptors behind him. First of all, what water were you drinking that you got to pee that badly? Second of all, how are you going to have a gag of like you look back of these two velociraptors that were just behind you and then just continue to pee is ridiculous.
Yeah,
so dumb.
I just completely put that movie out of my consciousness.
Yeah. The
I don't even
only
remember it.
saving grace of that movie was the fucking raft boat scene with the T-Rex. That was great.
Supposedly
really
that
nice
was supposed
nod
to be
to
in
the-
the original, I think.
Yeah, it's in the book, and it's fucking
Yeah.
great in the book. It's
Yeah.
not in this movie, but the T-Rex is always a nice little eye catcher. Like it was all over the promo for this movie just for him to be in or her to be in one scene. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Then
And
you
then
got
the
monkey.
final dinosaur was just comical.
Yeah, with like his big doopy head, like looked like a beluga whale with teeth. It was just or like with nasty looking teeth. But I want to hear your take on the monkey, because I actually kind of liked the monkey this year.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of dumb. Like I just remember being annoyed with it in the theater, and then I forgot about the movie, which I don't even really remember specific scenes. Like I just didn't really like it, and it has a low score for me for this year.
Yeah.
And then you saw the other Osgood Perkins film, Keeper. Why did that suck?
Which is a fucking shame, because I really liked Long Legs. I thought Long Legs was one of the best horror movies of, I think it was 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2024. Amazing movie. I thought it was awesome. Keeper fucking sucked ass. It was so bad. This is where we're scratching the bottom of the barrel of like elevated horror, where like you're trying to keep the story like ambiguous and like trying to like lead up to this like twist ending or whatever, that even at the end of the day is still spoon fed to you by the antagonist of the movie. And it just made me, I don't know what everybody's obsession is with like gangly old women as their like scary monster, but like this really just fucking put it into perspective. Like we need a new direction in horror. And that's
Yeah.
why I loved that we got Weapons in the same year as Keeper, because I feel like the last like 10 or so years of horror has been like elevated horror, where it's like Oscar worthy stories and Oscar worthy performances, like in fucking Hereditary or Midsummer, like, you know, just Ari Aster ass stuff. That now everybody's trying to like be ambiguous, and it just comes out like absolute dog shit. So, but
All right.
with that,
What's our
we have
big
all
loser?
of these stinkers, but there can only be one biggest loser. And that biggest loser, the worst movie of 2025, is Keeper by Osgood Perkins. Between the both of us, this was the lowest rated movie. This is probably the only movie I've given in a long time for 1.5 stars. And that was being generous. So, and you know me, I'm a generally positive human being on Letterboxd, but
Yeah.
this one was just absolute ass. I hated this movie so
The
fucking
absolute
bad.
ass award. That's what we'll call it.
The triple A, absolute ass award. But we've come to the best part of the evening. As we have discussed the biggest loser, we will now discuss the biggest winner and the best picture of 2025. I'll have Parker give the names of these wonderful films.
What an honor. So for this category, we had 10 nominations as opposed to our usual 5. And they are for the LetterBros Consensus Best Picture Award. Wake Up Dead Man, Begonia, Frankenstein, The Secret Agent, Eternity, No Other Choice, Weapons, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Marty Supreme. Good consensus, I guess you would say, top 10 list between the two of us, when no matter what order you put them in.
And we included No Other Choice because, by God, that movie was snubbed at the Oscars.
Yes,
that
it
should have
was.
been included. I mean, just from the trailer alone, I thought it was going to be just a generic, almost kind of like How to Make a Killing this year. Like, you're killing your competition to essentially get the job that you want, or the goal or reward that you want. But it was told in such a very interesting way. Like, he wasn't just outright going and killing his competition. Like, I thought it was fairly interesting.
Yeah, and very just well done. I mean, there was such a style to that film. Also, sleeper hit in our nominations, Eternity, kind of came out of nowhere for the both of us this year.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of our highest rated movies of the year. Like, it's just a very big sleeper hit. Again, shout out A24 for putting out just a rom-com that I didn't know what was going to happen next, honestly. Like, you could very much telegraph rom-coms, and obviously a lot of that is based off of how much can you connect with the characters. Like, not only could you connect with everybody in this movie, but also you don't know who she's going to choose. Like, both options seem viable. It was just such a heartwarming movie about just what is your choice? Like, a long lost love, or a love that you've lived with for all of your life? Like, it's very interesting. I went and hugged my wife after watching this movie, and she was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Stop crying."
We also have 2 horror films nominated, Sinners and Weapons. One nominated actually for Best Picture, the other not nominated for Best Picture. Both incredible movies that we got in 2025. Our Best Screenplay winner, Marty Supreme. Also, The Secret Agent, which you didn't see, but was nominated for Best Picture, and in my opinion, a really, really well done film. I know, were very high on Frankenstein this year. I want to know why you loved it so much. I enjoyed the movie as well. I want to know what your thoughts are on it.
So again, a lot of it is just based off of I've been watching Guillermo del Toro since I was a kid. Like, I watched Hellboy, fell in love with Hellboy. And so I started to be like, okay, what else does he got going on? He came out with Hellboy 2. He had Pan's Labyrinth. And then as an adult, I kind of dove into his other filmography, like fucking Kronos, from the 90s, that also has Ron Perlman. And then just diving it, I loved Shape of Water. I loved Pinocchio. Again, when he takes a passion for a movie, he puts his entire fucking soul into it, and you could tell anything he does is made with absolute love. And you can see that in Frankenstein and the set design, where he wants to give love and praise to Mary Shelley's novel, but also put his spin on it, and it resulted in, I mean, arguably the best creature we've gotten since fucking Boris Karloff. There's no question. There are other people that have played Frankenstein before. Jacob Elordi is, I would say, up there with Boris Karloff. So the score was really good. And then, I mean, I watched it on Netflix, but I also watched it at the Netflix theater, Paris Theater in New York, in 35 millimeter. And it just added a little bit more character to it that just made me fall in love with the movie even more. So, I mean, it's just incredible. But speaking of Netflix movies, we got Wake Up Dead Man on here, a Knives Out mystery. Arguably, I think, is the best Knives Out that we've seen. I really liked the first one and Glass Onion, but this one fucking rocked, dude. Everybody was going nuts in this movie, and just the mystery of it was pretty unique. I want to hear your takes on it too, as I don't think we've talked about it.
Yeah, I'd say I like all of the Knives Out fairly equally. I'd say the first one might be my favorite by a very slim margin. But Wake Up Dead Man gave us a fresh new twist, and this series has definitely prevented itself from becoming stale. I think that it was a great movie that kind of went under the radar. An amazing ensemble cast, as Knives Out always is, with an interesting story twist and a lot that was going on emotionally for our main character outside of the murder mystery, which added a very unique element. So I thought it was very well done. It kind of felt a little bit like Doubt. Have you ever seen Doubt or read Doubt, the play?
No, I haven't.
Kind of gave some elements of that, which was fun. And yeah, it was a great movie, very entertaining. I will say I don't think it quite holds up to a lot of our nominees in terms of overall best picture, and I will sorry, spoiler, but this is still a great movie.
Yeah. I want to hear your take because I don't think I've mentioned it here. I have not watched all of The Secret Agent, but Parker has. So I want to hear your take on The Secret Agent.
You've watched the first 9 minutes of The Secret Agent.
Again, that's why I want to hear your take on it. Because I agreed. Because again, like this movie's also sweeping at all of the award shows, like for international film. Wagner Moura also won best actor at the Golden Globes. For
and I think we could have had him nominated even because he is great in this film. All of the performances are great in this film. I was very close to giving it a 10 out of 10. I think I did give it a 10 out of 10 for acting. Actually, it was incredible all around. It kind of leaves you guessing as to what's actually going on for kind of the first hour, and it's a very long movie, so it gives you time to settle in. There's a lot of thematic elements, specifically with regards to sharks and jaws and decapitated legs, not decapitated, but severed legs, I guess you would say, and the culture and the oppression of the Brazilian regime at that time, and the culture of 70s Brazil and Carnival being on the backdrop of the entire movie. There's so many interesting characters that all have different motives and different levels of corruption with regards to who they're working with. And while the movie ended in a way that I didn't at first find completely satisfying, upon thinking about it, I enjoyed how they did it because it allows itself to still feel as though it could maintain itself within the real world. Like it feels like you could be watching an uncased file of something that actually took place. And it's really well done. To boot, it was visually compelling, and the music was very entertaining throughout it as well. So all around, it's a very good movie. Very, very good movie. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it. Yeah,
once I, get past the rest of the, 2 hours and 31 minutes of the movie.
Right.
Just going through the list here of what we haven't talked about because I want to save the big three for last. Bugonia, Yorgos Lanthimos, Jesse Plemons, Emma Stone. I knew kind of what we were getting into with this. I was with this movie wholeheartedly until the ending of this movie.
Yeah, the ending didn't quite land for me either. And I'll agree.
I would have loved, and spoiler, if what the end that Jesse Plemons met was the end of the movie, and that we just genuinely think that he is just cracked out of his mind, but then Yorgos does what Yorgos does and just makes some fucking weird ass shit. And
even if we see her go into the closet and then disappear, I don't know. The ending was overplayed. It was overplayed.
Yeah. It very much was leaning into oh yeah, you thought some shit in Poor Things was weird looking. Now look at this. I don't know. I still liked it. I loved there was just so much tension with all the scenes between Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, and fucking I gotta get the name of the other actor, his cousin. Also playing, actually has autism, so shout out to him. It is Aidan Delbus who plays his cousin. He does such a good job in this of just playing somebody who is just just being fucking like warped, like mentally, not only from his disability, but like it doesn't help that his cousin is a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, I think this
Um,
also could have been nominated for us for best screenplay because the back and forth between Plemons and Stone
yeah,
is so well written and so well portrayed.
it is pretty fucking great, dude.
And all it takes place in like one location essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. Like it's just in that little house, and then we go to like her office, and that's when all the shit starts hitting the fan, and just I don't know. I liked it. That there was just it honestly got kicked out of my top 10 after I watched Eternity. So
Yeah.
shout out to Begonia. But I think we're gonna hit the top 3 now, like the big boys of the Academy Awards this year. And we can start with One Battle After Another. Obviously Paul Thomas Anderson, fucking veteran filmmaker. This was honestly a year that I thought was really interesting, that we got people who usually make dramatic films. It started making action movies. Like we had PTA make One Battle After Another. We had Darren Aronofsky. Oh my God, he made fucking, what's it called?
Yeah, what was it?
The movie with Austin Butler. Oh my
Caught
God.
Stealing?
Caught Stealing. Yes. It's on Netflix right now. Just kind of like coming out of their like norm of like really like character driven, or like character pieces almost. Like you had like Punch Drunk Love with PTA, or fucking There Will Be Blood, one of my favorite movies of all time. And then you get something that's like, again, I don't know, maybe kind of out of the norm for him, and he fucking knocked it out of the park with this. Like I thought this was just going to be a generic like kind of like, they took my daughter, I gotta find my daughter, like kind of Harrison Ford ass type shit. But they make it interesting, and they have a lot of political undertones that obviously resonate very well today. Um, but it makes it so like real, lived in, and hilarious, dude. Like anytime Leo is on screen, like like once he's like become a dad and everything, like he's just fucking funny, dude. And obviously like the movie is shot incredibly well. Like the car chase scene is so fucking tense.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing.
It's a well put together movie with a lot of intersecting storylines, which I think is a common thread throughout some of our favorite movies. When you can balance a lot of different things that are going on and still make one cohesive story out of it, it's great.
Yeah. Speaking of great, we talk about Marty Supreme here. Very big toss up for like my personal movie of the year. I mean, Timothy Chalamet is fucking infectious. Like he is wholeheartedly proven himself as like one of the best actors of the last like decade. With this, A Complete Unknown, the fucking Dune series, just anything this man is putting out and he's putting his whole heart and soul into, like he is going to achieve greatness, much like Marty does in the movie. I mean, like you arguably like go and try and put this movie into 3 words, and it's a ping pong movie. Like that is what the movie was marketed as, and it's like honestly, I think ping pong only takes up about 45 minutes of the movie, if
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much just watching the fucking tomfoolery in the patent Josh Safdie ass like controlled chaos that we see in this movie, and it's just honestly, I think it's his best work. I liked this a lot more than Uncut Gems.
I did too. I did like it better than Uncut Gems. I'd say Good Time I also liked better than Uncut Gems, but I need to rewatch Good Time.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but
I
still
remember
like the same like chaotic energy.
I remember leaving Marty Supreme and thinking like that's up there for best movie of the year. Like it was so good. And there's so many turnarounds. There's so many poor character decisions that are executed in a way that don't make you hate what you're watching, which is like, if I had legs, I'd kick you. That movie frustrated me as opposed to entertain me because there were so many poor decisions being made. Marty Supreme entertained me because it felt more like the poor decisions being made were justified given the context of the situation and the performances and the direction and everything. That's the best way I can really describe it. But I thought it was
Yeah,
a
it's
blast.
very character driven, and the story, like, just you're watching these characters just deal with everything that's going on around them, and it's incredibly entertaining. I will agree with that. Speaking of incredibly entertaining, we have Sinners.
Yeah, which blends the line perfectly between entertaining popcorn film, kind of like we had earlier, and actually damn good movie.
Yeah, like what Ryan Coogler does here is nothing short of like a fucking masterpiece. Like you said, like this movie made a lot of money. Like it was marketed as something to be very popular, like a pretty popcorn movie. Like I would consider it a blockbuster. Like it was a lot of fun, but also giving like what the Oscars are looking for, like strong character performances, like captivating stories, an amazing fucking score. Probably one of the best scores I've heard in a very long time. Like
Mm-hmm.
again, I keep bringing back the movie Crossroads. It's the story of Ryan Johnson, and that movie just fucking it kicks so much ass, dude. And I loved it growing up as a kid. It's from 1986. It's got Ralph Macchio, and it's essentially kind of the same story. Like it's you meet the devil at the crossroads, you sell your soul to become like the best musician of all time, but like obviously that's not the story of Sinners, but it has that same sort of vibe, and like the set designs are amazing, the performances are incredible, like just everything was working with this movie, dude.
But Felix, there can only be one winner
There
for
can only
best
be
movie
one.
of 2025, according to us, the LetterBros. And I want you
Yeah,
to take us home.
I will do it. And we've had some really strong competition. It was a lot of back and forth, but the best picture of 2025, according to the LetterBros podcast, is Sinner by Ryan Coogler. Absolutely just insane, incredible movie, and a big fucking win for horror, too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely amazing movie. There's so much you can take away from this. Like, at one point, it's about just, like the lives of African Americans and just like, you know, the minorities in general in the South around that time, and like how they were living. Like there's so much research and just historical accuracy for the most part that went into this movie, and it's all thanks to Ryan Coogler for putting in the care and love for it, while also wanting to make it a visually pleasing and fucking just like amazing looking movie, like wanting to use IMAX and like tapping the fucking mastermind of IMAX right now with Christopher Nolan for help on this movie. Like everything was working on this movie, and I really hope it fucking wins stuff at the Oscars.
Most nominated movie of all time.
Yeah. And for a good reason too. I mean, like if you haven't seen Sinners yet, like what are you doing,
Even
dude?
if you're
Like,
not a horror fan. I mean, the movie is a
oh
complete
yeah.
package. The editing is out of this world. In 70 millimeter, watching Michael B. Jordan pass off a cigarette flawlessly to Michael B. Jordan, jaw dropping. The sequence, so to speak, the dance party in the barn that everyone talks about,
Mhm.
incredible. It's emotionally touching. Like the movie handles the nuances of the emotional relationships between the characters with care, while still providing an entertaining horror-esque overtone. I mean, it's a great movie. It is hands down a great movie.
And the best movie of 2025.
That's right. This has been fun. This has been fun.
It's been incredibly fun. And you know what? 2026 is coming out with some heaters this year, too. So I'm excited to get into all of that this year. Obviously, like, super excited for the Odyssey coming out this year.
Project Hail Mary. I'm almost done with the audiobook. I'm very excited
I'm
for
reading
that.
it too.
No
Hell
way.
yeah.
Are you reading it or listening to it?
I'm reading it right now. I
What
want to listen to it,
what
but
chapter are you on?
2.
Okay. Dude, you got a ways
I
to
was
go,
I
buddy.
was I was locked in when he said, "I'm gonna pull the catheter out of me."
Dude, that it's so good. I'm almost done with it. I have
I have a ticket for the 70 millimeter screening at
same.
Disney Springs in a couple weeks, so I'm excited, dude.
Yeah, nice.
But
Obsession is
Odyssey is
coming
gonna
out
be
in
my
May.
fucking Odyssey is my Super Bowl this year, dude. It's
Yeah,
gonna
Odyssey's
be.
gonna be great.
Shout out to all of the nominees. We appreciate you. You will all be receiving your awards in the mail shortly. It'll just be a signed headshot of Parker saying thank you.
Right.
But
Shout out to
other than that,
Colin as
buddy,
well for joining us.
yes, big shout out to Colin for coming on for a little bit, even during work. What a great guy. But Parker, this was so much fun. I'm glad we finally were able to get together and do this.
Me too. It was a great episode, and I'm excited to get back to the wheel. Seventh Seal is on deck.
Yeah. Once Oscars are done and I'm finished watching the other 2.5 hours of The Secret Agent, the Seventh Seal is on deck for sure.
Do it. Get to it.
But as always, everybody, you can find both of us on Letterboxd. It's Parker_Paget. For his Letterboxd. Please go over there. Like, that man is at the movies. We're both at the movies, dude.
Yeah.
We love being there.
We both are putting in work.
Yeah. And then I'm here, Letterboxd at Batuboy, BATUUBOII, putting up reviews daily. I bought the fucking movie log from A24 the other day.
Nice.
Yeah. And so what I've started doing is I will, when I go to see the movie, I will literally tape the ticket stubs.
That's awesome.
Right? Because I've been doing that forever. Like, I literally found a tin the other day of all of my ticket stubs from like all the way back to like 2007, dude.
That is dope.
I found the ticket stub from my first kiss, if that tells you anything. Like,
I do not know that.
it's nuts. So I thought,
wait, from your first
more,
kiss or like the movie?
My first kiss. Like,
my
my literal
a movie called My First Kiss.
Oh. No. Like, it is like Felix
crazy.
Martinez's first time kisses a woman.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So that was fun. Danny wasn't really thrilled about that part, but like, whatever. But I figured like this was a more organized way to keep it, and honestly a little bit safer, because half of those ticket stubs have been in a wallet forever until I find them, and then you can't even tell what the movie is.
Right.
But more to come on that. It's really fun. Again, go out and support. If this video tells you anything, go support movies in cinema. Go to the movie theaters to watch movies if you can. If you can watch it on streaming, great. But there's nothing like going to the movies, dude. It's great if you can.
I agree.
But other than that, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I know this is a longer episode, but it was beefy and it was filled with a lot of interesting notes. But until next time, everybody, we will see you at the movies.